So Tony Bellew, or as I like to call him, the local goof, he gave an interview with IFL TV in which he said, I effing told you Anthony Joshua was the best heavyweight in the world. He showed whole other dimensions to his game, etc, etc, etc. Now, Anthony Joshua boxed very well against Andy Ruiz. He boxed as I thought he would. He was very cautious, he was very defensive, he moved well for the 12 rounds. You know, he didn't engage. He only really picked the spots when he wanted to, and you could tell there was moments in that fight where he wanted to maybe go in and, you know, maybe let some shots go, but he thought better of it. So, very good performance from Anthony Joshua, as I've said several times in several videos. I just want to address what Tony Bellew has to say. Tony Bellew done an this is quote unquote part 2 as to why Sky need to fire Tony Bellew, because I've done a video there about 2 weeks ago about this subject. Well, I'll tell you now. Tony Bellew done an absolutely horrific job on commentary for that Sky broadcast. I don't know why Adam Smith and Sky have this man as a commentator on Sky, and most of the comments that I've seen from Tony Bellew, or about from people on the matter with Tony Bellew, were the exact same. Why is this guy working for Sky? You know, I get that Sky are biased, right? I get that. We know that they're biased. So are other companies as well. Like BT can be very biased towards their fighters as well. I get that. But the way Bellew tries to do it, he makes so many howlers on commentary. He has no knowledge of the sport. Like when you see him try and break a fight down or talk about a fighter and talk about their strengths, he describes him as he describes a fighter as something 1 minute and then describes him as something else. Like if you look, he done the commentary on the Povetkin Hunter fight, okay, because I rewatched that fight this morning and I rewatched it with the Sky commentary, and I think it was the 6th or the 7th round where I had my jaw on the floor listening to him when he said something along the lines of Povetkin is a 12-round fight, a 12-round fighter, and in the very next breath he says Povetkin's not a 12-round fighter, he needs to get you out of there. And you're just looking at that and you're thinking, what the fuck? Right? How can this man get a job as a boxing analyst and boxing commentator when the man is clueless about the sport of boxing? Clueless. And one of the main reasons why I don't like Tony Bellew on commentary, I get that BT can be biased, I get that The Zone can be biased, I get that ESPN can be biased, but with Tony Bellew, the favouritism, and Tony Bellew reminds me, as I've said several times, the local goof and the geeky kid in school who just tries to follow whoever's winning. Because only a couple of months ago he was saying Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world by a country mile, when Tyson Fury was, you know, seen as number 1. And then Anthony Joshua gets a win and he's going and saying Anthony Joshua was number 1. The amount of ass kissing he done during that commentary was disgusting almost. And I'm someone who I try and play it like I see it. I try and call it down the middle. I don't want to come across as biased. I don't ever try and come across as biased. I say it like I see it. And I might like a fighter. You know, there are plenty of fighters that I like, but if I need to go in on them, then I do. So I don't want anyone to think that, you know, G-Man's a fanboy or anything like that, because I'm not. But when you see Tony Bellew, how biased he is, you just think, what the fuck? How? Why do, like, I know Adam Smith and Sky probably want someone who's going to be biased, who's going to maybe be like a cheerleader, like a yes man. But Bellew is just beyond that, you know? He's just beyond that. And if there's one thing I can't stand, it's people who just try and suck up to people, you know? I'll tell you a little story, okay? This year, actually, I didn't last very long in this job. I got out of there pretty quick because I hated it. And I hated the people I was working with as well. I didn't hate the people as people, I just didn't like them. It's a strong word. But I hated the job. And it was for a cable company. I was one of their account managers. And basically, there was like 4 people I worked with. And they were in awe of the owner. The owner lived in the UK. We were based in Dublin. And they were so in awe of this owner. And this was a 60-year-old guy. And they said, you know, this guy, he's got a holiday home in Spain. He drives a Maserati. And, you know, he's in his 60s. And his wife, who has like a 6-year-old daughter for him, is like 31, 32. And they were in awe of this guy. And I was like, mate, he drives a Maserati. Maserati is like a poor man's supercar. It really is. Holiday home in Spain, fair enough. Like, okay. He's with that woman is probably not with him for his personality or his charm. All right, she's probably with him for the money. And if I was that guy in that situation where I had all that money, I wouldn't want a woman like that. I'd probably feel even lonelier having all that than anything else, because myself, I'm very simple. I like boxing training. I like doing my boxing training. I like making my videos. Obviously, I don't have a girlfriend now, but whenever I do, I like them to be a certain way. I'm not looking for a gold digger or anything like that. So with me, I couldn't understand why they were like so hyped on this guy. And the guy just looked like a regular flawed human being to me. I just didn't see anything special about the guy. I couldn't understand that. And I can't understand why Tony Bellew would be like that, because you're more or less admitting this guy is better than me. And everyone has flaws. Nobody's perfect. So I don't try and compare myself to... See, that's the kind of thing. I don't try and suck up to anyone. I don't try and compare myself to anybody, because I always say that I'm on my own journey. And, I am kind of my own yardstick. I don't look at someone and think, oh, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could be like that. I'm like, no, they're on their journey. I'm on mine. I do my thing. So when I see Tony Bellew going around, absolutely sucking the cock off Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and, other matchroom fighters, I'm just thinking, how can you look at yourself and be happy with yourself to be like that? I don't know. Maybe I'm going in a bit too deep on that. But, yeah, those are my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think Sky need to fire Tony Bellew? Let me know what you think. Do you agree with Tony Bellew? Do you think he's right to be biased? Let me know what you think down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I touched on anything that intrigued you, let me know. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think down below. Subscribe for new, of course. And as always, I will talk to you after.